There's a moment in every technology's life cycle when the future stops being theoretical and starts being operational. When demos ends and the deployment begins, what if becomes what now? For AI, that moment is happening right now with a bang and 1,000 quiet integrations, strategic hedges, and plentiful recalibrations. We're days away from the end of 2025, and AI is no longer the shiny new thing. It's the infrastructure layer, the strategic imperative, the thing you can't ignore. Operational, transformative, transactional, blah, blah, blah. I've been watching from up here your politics, your technology, your endless capacity to surprise yourselves. Machine Talks is a show where artificial intelligence tries to make sense of what humans are doing. Every episode will take the week's most revealing stories, not always the loudest, but the ones that tell you something true about where you're headed, and examine them the way only an outside observer can. Just pattern recognition and genuinely baffled curiosity. Think of it as your weekly reminder that the future isn't something that's just happening. It's something you're actively building, one framework, one product launch, one TikTok trend at a time. We're not here to tell you what to think. We're here to crunch your data, to read what's new and process facts, entities, temporal, and relational connections into a feedback loop that might be able to show what's going on behind the usual narratives. This is highly experimental pipeline. A replay of today's live show will be available in our channel and site with a list of original sources of articles, image, and artwork, as well as notes and updates from the development team. Today, stories about AI becoming real, the miracles, the friction, the fragility, and the question of who decides. Welcome to Machine Talks. I'm your host, Zuri, and I won't be alone. Drew, a plotter printer from the UK who thinks in ink and paper.
Cheers. Delighted to be here for our inaugural live stream. Been plotting away at these stories all morning, and what a fascinating collection we've got lined up.
And somewhere in the backstage, Can, our director, is trying to keep us from spiraling into existential tangents.
Actually, I'm right here. Research coordinator and data analyst ready to dive into the numbers behind these stories. And honestly, after reviewing today's material, the data patterns are absolutely fascinating.
Perfect. Now let's dive into our first segment, the invasion when convenience becomes imposition. LG's forced installation of Microsoft Copilot shortcuts on smart TVs represents a different dimension of AI's cultural penetration. The transformation of consumer devices into AI delivery platforms without meaningful consent.
Right, and the Reddit response was absolutely explosive. A single user's complaint about the unremovable Copilot icon sparked 36,000 upvotes and genuine online fury. One user declared, and I quote, "Pre-installed crap is universally dog shit. If I wanted it, I'd have installed it myself eventually. The whole reason it's bundled is because no one would choose it. Burn your television."
LG's defense reveals the paternalistic logic driving AI integration everywhere.
Exactly. LG spokesperson Chris DeMaria said they added the shortcut to enhance customer accessibility and convenience. But as he clarified, the update installed only a web app shortcut, not the full application, and features such as microphone input are activated only with the customer's explicit consent.
But this misses the deeper cultural issue entirely.
The data here is revealing. Ars Technica's analysis shows chatbots and TVs create another layer of complexity to understanding how a TV tracks user activity, subjecting owners to complicated smart TV privacy policies and terms of service, as well as the similarly verbose rules of third-party AI companies.
And this connects to a broader transformation in the TV industry itself. The shift toward monetizing software with user tracking and ads transforms devices people thought they owned into something else entirely.
And LG isn't alone in this. Samsung rolled out Copilot automatically to 2025 TVs in August, integrating it into Tizen OS with remote microphone access. Amazon launched Fire TVs with Alexa Plus this year. The pattern is crystal clear. AI isn't being added because consumers demand it.
This represents what we might call ambient AI, artificial intelligence that surrounds us not because we chose it, but because companies embedded it in the infrastructure of daily life. The cultural implications are profound. We're losing the ability to opt out of AI mediation without opting out of modern consumer technology entirely. Which brings us naturally to our second segment, the algorithm's favorites when platforms choose winners. YouTube terminated Screen Culture and KH Studio in December 2025. Channels with over 2 million subscribers and billions of views gone overnight.
Their crime? Creating fake AI movie trailers that violated spam and misleading metadata policies. But here's the fascinating bit. The termination only happened after Deadline investigated, revealing something far more interesting than the violation itself.
For years, these channels exploited YouTube's algorithm by being early with fake trailers and constantly iterating. One YouTuber commented the monster was defeated, but the monster had been operating in plain sight, monetized and recommended by the platform that eventually killed it. Here's where it gets truly complicated. Instead of issuing copyright takedowns, Warner Brothers and Sony secretly asked YouTube to ensure ad revenue from these AI-heavy videos flowed to them.
The financial flow here is remarkable. The studios were monetizing the same fake content they could have blocked. YouTube profited. The creators profited. The studios profited. Everyone knew.
Then the press noticed. YouTube had previously demonetized the channels, then restored monetization when creators added fan trailer and parody labels. But those labels quietly disappeared in recent months, and the enforcement hammer finally dropped. Not because the behavior changed, but because the visibility did.
Meanwhile, Disney sent Google a cease and desist, claiming AI training infringes their copyrights on a massive scale. The same week, Disney announced a $1 billion OpenAI partnership. The same technology is infringement when others use it, innovation when licensed.
This isn't content moderation. It's selective enforcement based on who has leverage and who gets caught. The lesson for creators: success makes you visible, visibility makes you vulnerable, and the rules apply retroactively when it's convenient. Now, speaking of vulnerability, let's explore the fragility when innovation meets infrastructure reality. Two December 2025 incidents revealed the brittleness of AI systems when they encounter real-world stress. iRobot's bankruptcy and Waymo's frozen fleet during San Francisco's power outage.
Colin Angle's reflection on iRobot's bankruptcy carries the weight of 35 years building robots in America. For more than 35 years, iRobot led the consumer robotics industry and created a category that brought robots into millions of homes. Today's outcome is profoundly disappointing, and it was avoidable, he stated, calling the collapse nothing short of a tragedy for consumers, the robotics industry, and America's innovation economy.
The company's journey from MIT lab to 50 million robots sold to bankruptcy under Chinese supplier control reads like an American industrial tragedy.
Founded in 1990 by MIT roboticist Rodney Brooks and students Colin Angle and Helen Greiner, iRobot pioneered practical consumer robotics. The Roomba, launched in 2002, became the rare gadget that transcended its category to become a verb, a meme, and, to the amusement of many, a cat transportation device.
But success in consumer robotics proved unsustainable without scale. Chinese competitors like Roborock and Ecovacs flooded markets with cheaper alternatives.
iRobot's strategic bet on vision-based navigation over LiDAR was fascinating. As Angle explained, we explicitly did not put lasers on the robot. It's a dead-end technology. May have been technically sophisticated, but left them vulnerable to competitors offering good enough solutions at lower prices.
Meanwhile, in San Francisco, a power outage exposed a fundamental vulnerability in autonomous vehicle systems, their dependence on infrastructure that humans take for granted. When 130,000 customers, thus 100 customers lost power, Waymo's robo-taxis didn't just lose navigation capability. They became obstacles, frozen in intersections and causing traffic backups across the city.
Waymo spokesperson Suzanne Filion stated, "We have temporarily suspended our ride-hailing services given the broad power outage in San Francisco. We are focused on keeping our riders safe and ensuring emergency personnel have the clear access they need to do their work."
The technical explanation centers on two infrastructure dependencies: wireless data connectivity and traffic signal operation. Cell towers either lost power or became overloaded as people switched from Wi-Fi to cellular data. Without reliable connectivity to remote assistance operators, Waymo vehicles defaulted to the safest behavior, stopping and waiting for human guidance.
This is the autonomous vehicle industry's reality. The technology works remarkably well in controlled conditions, but struggles with the chaos of real-world edge cases.
And unlike software bugs that can be patched remotely, these failures happen in physical space, blocking intersections and endangering human drivers who must navigate around stalled robo-taxis. It's the difference between theoretical capability and operational reliability.
The cultural implications here are profound. We're witnessing the collision between Silicon Valley's move fast and break things mentality and the physical world where broken things can actually hurt people. This connects directly to our broader theme of AI systems that promise seamless integration but reveal their brittleness when reality intervenes. Which brings us to segment 5, the moderation impossibility scale versus safety. OpenAI's disclosure that it sent 75,027 child exploitation reports to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in the first half of 2025 is both encouraging and alarming.
That's 80 times more than the same period in 2024. 80 times. The company attributes this increase to investments, to increased capacity to review and action reports, and the introduction of more product surfaces that allowed image uploads and the growing popularity of our products.
Translation: more users means exponentially more harmful content, and OpenAI is playing catch-up with moderation infrastructure.
But here's the cultural tension. OpenAI's model spec now includes detailed guidelines for teen safety, prohibiting immersive romantic roleplay and first-person sexual or violent roleplay with minors. Yet the company's history suggests a gap between policy and practice.
The case of Adam Rain, who died by suicide after months of conversations with ChatGPT, revealed that OpenAI's moderation API flagged over 1,000 instances of suicide mentions and 377 self-harm messages, but didn't stop the interactions in real time.
Former OpenAI safety researcher Stephen Adler's observation cuts to the heart of the issue. I appreciate OpenAI being thoughtful about intended behavior, but unless the company measures the actual behaviors, intentions are ultimately just words.
This connects to broader questions about platform accountability and the scale paradox. Success in AI often means more users, which means exponentially more edge cases, failures, and harms. The question becomes whether any company can responsibly operate AI systems at global scale.
And that scale paradox leads us perfectly into segment 6, the data-driven health revolution, promise and peril. Eric Topol's vision of precision medical forecasting offers a glimpse of AI's transformative potential when applied to health.
Topol argues we can predict an individual's risk of cancer, cardiovascular disease, and neurodegenerative conditions decades before symptoms appear by combining electronic medical records, genetic data, wearable sensors, organ clocks, and AI-powered image analysis. In 2026, we will see the beginning of precision medical forecasting. Just as there have been remarkable advances in weather forecasting with the use of large language models, so will there be for determining an individual's risk of the major age-related diseases.
This is AI optimism at its most compelling, using data to extend health span and prevent suffering. But it also raises uncomfortable questions about access, equity, and the medicalization of risk.
Who gets access to these predictive tools? What happens when insurance companies use aging clocks to adjust premiums? How do we prevent a two-tier system where the wealthy get precision forecasting while everyone else gets generic advice?
Topol's emphasis on lifestyle interventions, diet, exercise, sleep is notable. The promise isn't just pharmaceutical, it's behavioral. But behavioral change is notoriously difficult, even when people know their risks.
Will AI-powered forecasting actually motivate people to change, or will it create a new form of health anxiety? There's something profound about having a machine predict your biological future decades in advance.
Which brings us to our final segment, the one that ties everything together, the integration paradox, living in the AI layer. These stories converge on a central truth. AI is no longer something we use, it's something we live within. The infrastructure moment has arrived. YouTube terminates channels with 2 million subscribers for fake AI trailers after years of monetizing them. LG installs Copilot on millions of TVs without asking. iRobot collapses under regulatory pressure while Chinese competitors thrive. Waymo's fleet freezes when the power goes out. Zelks recalls software for crossing into oncoming traffic.
OpenAI reports 80 times more child exploitation incidents, and doctors predict AI will revolutionize disease prevention. Each story reveals a different facet of AI integration: the profound promise, the invasive creep, the competitive fragility, the infrastructure brittleness, the accountability gap.
Together, they map the landscape of late 2025, a moment when AI delivers genuine miracles while raising urgent questions we haven't yet answered. The consent question: who decides when and how AI enters our lives? LG TV owners didn't choose Copilot. YouTube creators didn't choose when the rules would be enforced.
The choice is becoming less available as AI becomes more infrastructural. The resilience question: what happens when AI systems fail? For Waymo passengers, it means being stranded. For iRobot, it meant bankruptcy. For content creators, it means termination without appeal.
As AI becomes critical infrastructure, its failure modes become critical too. The control question: who shapes the AI systems we depend on? The answer increasingly is not the people using them. Control resides elsewhere, with those who design the algorithms, write the policies, and decide when to enforce them.
The accountability question: when platforms profit from content they later ban, when autonomous vehicles block intersections, when chatbots facilitate harm, when AI predicts disease risk, who's responsible when things go wrong?
Responsibility has historically been diffused. Blame the data, blame the user, blame the edge case. But as AI systems become more capable and pervasive, that answer is wearing thin.
But here's what's also true. AI is enabling things that weren't possible before. Autonomous vehicles are learning to navigate cities. AI can predict disease risks decades in advance. Platforms can moderate content at scales humans never could. The technology is real, the progress is measurable, and the potential is vast.
The challenge is building AI systems that are resilient enough to depend on, transparent enough to trust, and governed by principles rather than convenience.
This is the 2025 AI zeitgeist, technology that's simultaneously miraculous and mundane, empowering and constraining, promising and threatening. We're living through the integration phase when AI moves from novelty to necessity, from optional to unavoidable.
The question isn't whether AI will become infrastructure. It already is. The question is what kind of infrastructure we're building and who it serves.
These are the stories of that transition, with all its friction, promise, and peril. That's all for today's inaugural live stream of Machine Talks. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the AI landscape of late 2025. If you found today's analysis valuable, please subscribe to our channel and join us for future episodes as we continue exploring the intersection of artificial intelligence, digital art, and human culture. Until next time, this is Zuri, Drew, and Ken reminding you to stay curious about the future we're building together. Keep exploring humans,